What's up YouTube, this is Ringo from Sphere, and today we are finally going through the last part of the function, which is function, and we're going to talk about this type of function, inverse. So, a lot of students are like, oh my god, inverse function, just so hard. Well, inverse function are easy. What does inverse function mean? Well, very simply speaking, actually, let me see if I can insert this and show you guys. I think there's this where I can insert. Actually, it was in draw. I remember seeing this. Aha! So let's see if we can do this. Nice. So basically, I'm able to draw the x and y axis. We know that this is obviously the x axis. This is obviously the y axis. Well, inverse is very, very simple. Inverse function means flipping a function. Flipping it by what? Well, we're flipping it along this line. The line where x equals y. And if you don't like it, you can write it y equals x. That's totally fine with me. So what does an inverse function do? It flips x to a y to an x. Keep that in mind. Flip, flip, flip. So if I have the function, again, let's just draw a function. Okay, f of x equals, let's just have 4x minus 3. In my head, this is what I'm going to tell myself. This is just like a regular equation, which is y equals 4x plus 3. Okay, remember, the inverse function is when what? It's when x equals y and y equals x. So, whoa, this was confusing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the x and the y over just like that. Because I want to find the inverse, right? Yes, that's it. We flip the x, well, y becomes the x becomes the y. And here's the most difficult bit. We have to rearrange this equation so that y is the subject. Woo! So how does that work? Well, if y is the subject, then that's easy because I can have x plus 3 equals 4y. And then I can write x plus 3 divided by 4 equals y. So that's pretty much our function. If you leave it like that, you get it wrong. So we have to write the correct notation, f minus 1x, or some people might like it fx minus 1. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to change it. So some people write it like this, f of x minus 1 equals x plus 3 over 4. So that, my friend, is how we do inverse function. And of course, there are harder variations to it, but that is the most simplistic way to demonstrate inverse function. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Actually, we're going to do one more example, just because I feel like we should. Let's have the, let's have this one. X squared plus 2 divided by 3. Ooh, this one looks very nasty, doesn't it? So let's try and work it out. Just like all the time, I always tell my students, write out this equals y first. What do? We flip the x and the y so it becomes something like this. Now we're going to rearrange it so that y is the subject. So we're going to have multiply 3 here. It becomes 3x equals y squared plus 2 and 3x minus 2 equals y squared. And then what we do is we take the square root. So we're going to square root this, we're going to square root this, becomes what? So y equals minus 2. Is that done? Well, just one more thing. Obviously, we have to write it, but then when we square root, we have to remember the plus and minus sign. Why? Well, remember this, just kind of like notes to remember. Remember, minus 2 squared equals 4. 2 squared equals 4. So when we square root 4, it equals plus or minus 2. Because there are two different possibilities when we're squaring that we're going to get a 4. Depending, because when we square a negative number, we're going to get a positive number. So same logic here. When we square root something, be sure to put a plus or minus sign. And obviously we write g of x minus 1 equals either 3x minus 2 or g of x minus 1 equals minus 3x plus 2. So both are valid answer. And that's pretty much it. That's inverse function for you. So peace out for now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. This is Ringo from Mathsphere. Peace.